Hello, beautiful ones. I hope you're all having a wonderful now, wherever you are. I wanted to make a quick video about something that I was approached with yesterday. And someone called me and they were disturbed because they saw a video on TikTok. And the video was talking about how pretty soon people were going to have to make a choice, and that the ones that were going to be left behind were pretty much the ones that chose not to shift. Were going to be left behind in some sort of hell and doom and apocalyptic earth, and those that choose to change or to ascend are going to go to paradise, have something good happen. And it's interesting because it reminded me of like traditional like church, like where you believe that the good people go to heaven and the bad people go to hell. And there are a lot of wonderful teachers out there with really good intentions that are coming from a place of fear based on how they view the world and their belief systems. And maybe they come from really religious backgrounds, and where you get the fear of hell instilled in you. And so then they go on and they teach these things, and it's like embedded with all this extremes, and good people are going to be good and bad people are pretty much are going to die, kind of thing. And so for her, it made her go into fear for her loved ones, and whether they were going to be okay or not. And so she wanted to know if it was true. And the concept of shift happening, a divide in a way, and maybe it's not really a divide, it's more of a choice of people who are wanting to move forward and are ready, and those who are still not ready and are still needing to play a little bit longer in this reality. And that's completely okay. One thing to note that is really, really important is that it's not that these people are doing anything wrong. It's not that, those who are choosing to maybe not ascend or maybe not go through a shift or not awaken, those individuals are not less than. They're not broken in any way. They have free will and they are sovereign beings, just like we all are. And they have a choice. They get to decide, whether they want to evolve in this way or whether they maybe want to play a little bit longer. I mean, the crazy thing is, in this reality, is as much as we like to think that it's black and white, some of the souls that you see out there that are like, just what we would say completely lost or in the darkness, are actually souls that are very highly evolved souls, but they are playing their part, and there's a reason why they are playing their part. So it's not about condemning them. And the concept of this divide or of this separation that's going to take place, I think it may have even become more popular. A concept that was brought up by a lady named Dolores Cannon, and she talked about this, people that were going to stay in the old earth and people that were going to move to the new earth, right? This concept of that. So a lot of the teachings that we have about this are based on old patterns or old ways of believing, are like steeped with like traditional religious teachings. And so some of what we're getting, it's okay for where we are in our evolution and in our development or our consciousness, but it's not necessarily always accurate. And so I would say, yes, there are some people that are wanting to move forward, and there are some people that are not wanting to change right now. One thing too is you don't know, because some people may look to you like they're not changing, but you don't know what's going on at a soul level. Some of those people may look like they're not going ahead, but they are. They're just going ahead in their own speed and in their own way. And that's one thing, you hear people how they do it, the steps to this, steps to that. And it's different for every individual. It's different for every person. And so, maybe for some people it's going to take a few lifetimes. Maybe for some people they're 10 years away from that moment where they have that opening of their heart up, or that desire. It's like, I know that it comes from the soul, like that desire to want to awaken to that deeper truth within yourself. And a lot of the times it's brought about by extreme suffering. And so extreme suffering, a lot of the times, as I have said before, prompts us to go within. And within we have an aspect of what we are, which is something much, much deeper. And when we get in touch with that aspect of ourselves, with what we truly are, with that love within us, then it opens us up. It starts to open us up. It starts to dissolve what is not true, and it starts to almost bring you back to what you truly are. And so some people, it may take them a little bit longer, but this whole thing of the ascension, the shift that we talk about, it is very much a personal, and also it could be a collective thing. So each person's going to do it in their own way. Each soul has already decided what they're going to do. And it's not that the people that are choosing to not move at the same speed as everyone else, or maybe not choosing to even have anything to do with that in this lifetime, it's not that they're bad. It's not that, they're going to go somewhere evil, they're going to go to hell. Those ideas are ideas that with time we're going to look at differently. We're going to realize that this source, God, prime creator, whatever you want to call source, you realize that it's not like the God that's in the Bible, that is, judgmental, that is hateful, that is, punitive and vengeful. It's not like that at all. Those are human characteristics, meaning those are things that we have learned over time and that we have continued to practice generation after generation. But it's not who we truly are. And what we're doing now, a lot of us, is returning to what we truly are. And I say returning because I don't have a better word for it. In fact, we've never left our source. We've never left that love light. We've never left that unity. There's nothing that you have to do, even for you to even be there. You're already there. You're already that. And that's where, the whole, I've talked about this in the last video. Everything that you need is right here, right now. We hear that over and over, but we don't, it takes time for us to realize that and to really know it experientially in our lives. And different circumstances will come into our lives to help us understand that, and to come into the ability to see and to know things the way that we need to be able to progress forward as we move through this path, right, that we're all on. I love I can't remember. I'm not very good at remember exact words sometimes, but the idea that we're all going up this mountain and we're all going up to the same place. We're pretty much already there, right? But we're pretending we're going up. and some of us may take longer paths, and some of us may take shorter paths. Someone's like, you know what? I'm just going to take a shortcut. And another one's like, no, I think I'm just going to enjoy the ride, and I'm going to enjoy the scenery, And so this is beautiful, by the way. It's finally stopped raining in California, and there's a rainbow. Oh, I love it. So it's not up to us to go up to them and be like, you're doing it wrong. It's like they're going to do it how they're going to do it. The thing is that as much as we sometimes want to see ourselves, as saviors, or even look for saviors, They don't need any saviors. Who do we think that they are? It's like, who do we think that we are? Because whatever we think that we are is what we're gonna think other people are too. In the sense of, if you see yourself as a sovereign divine being, not just as a human with limited abilities and a limited consciousness and limited freedoms, right? But you see yourself as you truly are, which is beyond all this and not limited at all, completely unlimited, free, sovereign, then you realize that the soul chooses, and that the soul is free to do what it chooses to do, and that it's perfectly okay for that individual. So whether someone goes fast or slow, they're already there. They've already made it. It's like the outcome's already been determined. It's already done. It's just, what do you want to do along the way? You know, I always had this, not always, I would say in the past like 10 years, I've had this weird feeling, and I don't have it anymore like I used to, that I was actually like reliving this life. Like, I'd already lived this life. I was already reliving it, but I was choosing in each and every moment, choosing to be present, whether I wanted to be present in this reality and in this experience here and now. Like, yes, I knew that like everything, it had already happened, but I'm re-experiencing everything again. And it's like, but I'm doing it from this point of view, from a more expanded, more loving, more compassionate point of view than I did maybe especially 10 years ago. And that's one good thing. If you start doubting yourself or you think you're not doing good enough, compare yourself to who you were 5-10 years ago. I guarantee you that all of you have made some immense improvements despite some of the difficulties that have arisen in this past few years. Oh, look how cute this little guy's a tiny little barks. So this whole idea of the separation of people, it's not a separation. It's not a separation. It's just that some people have decided to take a certain path and do it at a certain speed, and other people have decided to do it slower. Maybe not in this lifetime. Maybe in this lifetime they don't want to have anything to do with it. And it's like, again, like I always say, each of us are in our own reality, in our own timeline in a way. So we're all co-creating in this I guess space, if you want to call it that. But we are each having our own experience that is very unique to us, and it's very beautiful that we get to do that. It's definitely a gift, but it doesn't mean that it's bad if people don't do the same thing that everyone else does. And I told this person that I was talking to that for me, I have this it's like an indicator for me when I'm listening to something. If it's something that is fearful, I don't want to listen to it. And it's not that I want to close my eyes off to dangers. I'm definitely wise and aware of those things, and I know when I need to pay attention. But when I'm listening to a message and it just feels fearful, and I tap into that, is love speaking to you or is fear speaking to you? What is speaking to you right now, So when fear wishes to speak to me and wishes to have a conversation with me, I very respectfully decline a lot of the times. And, obviously I'm rooted in reality. And so when I need to, I take things seriously, as should everyone. But I do, you have to practice discernment in like, who's speaking to me right now. And listen to your own intuition, because you yourself are your own compass. You yourself are able to determine it, and it takes practice, of course. You have intuition that's able to guide you. That's 100% correct all the time. And it does take some practice for you to learn to trust it. But we each have like our own internal little barometer, like our own little thermometer. I don't know what to call it, but it's able to like a compass. It's able to like let us know if we're moving in the direction that we want to move, or maybe if a message, look at this tree fell in the middle, but if a message is coming from a place of truth, or if it's coming from a place of fear. And right now, unfortunately, it seems to be that there's a lot of fear out there, and a lot of messages out there about apocalyptic endings. And I've always said in these videos to just I'm wary of those. I don't I check in with myself if I hear something's gonna happen, but it's like this little guy. It's like it's a system that wants to almost keep you like in fear, and it doesn't benefit doesn't benefit the system, I guess we want to call it that, that we ourselves have created, oddly enough, but to wake up. It's interesting. I remember having this knowing during an ayahuasca a trip, actually, that we were all like trying to wake each other up. We have all been blindfolded at some point, and some of us have started to take off our blindfolds, and we started to like give other people clues to take off their blindfolds too, so that they could awaken. And so I feel like we're all on this path of helping each other awaken to the truth that exists within all of us. And there's no need for us to go into fear. If we hear a message that's fearful, it's something that I tune out of. I'm not open for that. I'm open to hearing truth. I'm open to seeing what is. The possibilities are infinite. There's infinite timelines. So it just depends on what you end up tapping into, I guess. None of us are defenseless. We're all sovereign divine beings, and that's what we're remembering right now. And I feel like for some people that aren't, they're not ready, we can't push them. They have to do it in their own time, and it's okay, because maybe we weren't ready. Maybe some of us weren't ready 15-20 years ago. I know I wasn't. I wouldn't have been open to any of this. Some of us still need to have experiences, but it doesn't mean that we judge another because they're not going as fast as everyone else. And it also doesn't mean that we need to go into fear about it, especially with the children. I feel like a lot of the children that are coming in now, they're already kind of upgraded, and they're on it. We don't have to worry about them. Some of the older generations are having a little bit of difficulties, but some of them are doing excellent. So it just really depends on the individual. And either way, every individual that you meet, every being that you meet is source embodied, as you are, as I am. And I feel like we can treat each other with respect and with love to the best of our ability. and tune into love, tune into the truth, and make sure that you check in with yourself whenever you hear this type of fearful messages. As much as they grow, you don't have to listen to them. You don't have to go into fear. I love you all. You have a beautiful evening, night, day. Bye-bye.